Hey gang, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina. I'm your host and I'm so excited to be here with you today to go over those two fabulous strollers that you see behind me. We're going to be checking out the UppaBaby CRUZ V3 and the NUNA MIXX NEXT. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. If it makes sense to share this video with someone, go ahead and share it. Sharing is caring. This is a brand new product, so we're super excited to show it off. And that being said, if you like anything that you see in this video, head on over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. I am a real brick and mortar store here in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. We've been selling baby products for over 20 years. We have over 20 years of experience for everything best for baby. So again, you can like, follow, subscribe, but please head on over to destinationbabykids.com. The greatest way to show your support of the YouTube channel is to buy directly from me if you like what you see on the channel. Okay, so now that we've had our little commercial, let's launch into the NUNAPIPA MIXX NEXT versus the UppaBaby CRUZ V3. So let's talk about them. The strollers that you see in front of me, so the tan one here, this is a color called Declan. This is going to be from UppaBaby. This is the CRUZ V3. And then the gray stroller, this is a color called Monterey. This is the NUNAPIPA MIXX NEXT. So both of these strollers are $1,000. The UppaBaby is going to be $9.99. The NUNA is going to be $1,000. They will both work with infant car seats directly out of the box from their own brand. And with UppaBaby, what's very exciting is that you could actually buy other brand of car seats to clip onto this stroller frame. With NUNA, you will not be able to do that. The NUNAPIPA MIXX NEXT will only work with NUNA brand infant seats. So that's just like one difference that we want to make sure that's clear. We'll go over that again. But what's really special about both of these strollers is that they will both work for a newborn all the way through to 50 pounds sitting in the seat. So why does that matter? A lot of strollers, when you buy them directly out of the box, they will not be suitable to work with the newborn without using a car seat or a separate purchase like an insert or a bassinet. What's great about both of these strollers is that we're going to be able to use them for a brand new baby right out of the box without buying extra stuff. So we will talk about that in just a second, but right now, let's run through the statistics so we can talk about similarities and differences between them more effectively. We'll get to the newborn stuff at the end. So again, as I mentioned, price on both is going to be $1,000. The warranty on UppaBaby is a 3-year warranty. Your warranty on NUNA is going to be a 2-year warranty. So that's a little bit of a difference. Another difference would be in the backrest height. So the backrest height on the CRUZ V3 is 20 inches. On the MIXX NEXT, it's going to be 20.5. So about a ½ inch difference. It's a slightly longer backrest on MIXX NEXT, but not functionally. Harness minimum on CRUZ V3 is 8 inches. It goes up to 15.5. Harness height on MIXX NEXT will go from 11 inches up to 15.5. So that's kind of a big difference there, especially when we're starting from newborn and putting a newborn baby in there. It is nice, I think, that the UppaBaby does start at a little bit of a shorter harness height for that smaller bodied kiddo. Canopy clearance. So one thing that's special with UppaBaby is you can raise the canopy up to get more clearance from butt to the top of the head. So UppaBaby, when you raise it up, you get 24 inches. NUNA, you can't raise that canopy, so that is a 23-inch height from butt to the top. Both are still excellent. The seat width. So the seat width on the UppaBaby is 10.5 inches. On the MIXX NEXT, it's going to be 11. The seat depth on the UppaBaby is 8.5 inches, and on the NUNA MIXX NEXT is going to be 9. So ½ inch wider and ½ inch deeper on this seat, and ½ inch taller. But this is where it starts to get a little different. The leg extension. So that is this little floppy piece right here. On the NUNA, my leg extension, I would argue professionally, from a professional standpoint, this is a short leg extension. This leg extension is only 6 inches. Our leg extension on our UppaBaby is, that's this piece here dropping down, that's 9 inches. So you do get a longer leg extension on the UppaBaby than you do on the NUNAPIPA MIXX NEXT. The knee drop, which is the distance from the knee down to the bottom of this heel stirrup here, or this bar here, or this bar here. So let's talk about those distances. This is 9 inches. This to the next bar is 13, and all the way down is 15.5. Now, since the NUNA MIXX NEXT doesn't have a heel stirrup, that's 6 to 6.5 inch depth there on that leg drop, we have one distance here, which is 11 inches. So we've got 3 different distances on UppaBaby. With NUNA, we just have the one at 11 inches. Crotch belt depth on our CRUZ V3, it's 4.5 inches from the back of the seat, and then on the MIXX NEXT, it is also 4.5 inches from the back of the seat. They both have a magnetic buckle. So NUNA's done the best job with that out of anybody. And I will still say, I guess I prefer NUNA's magnetic buckle because there's a gray button and you just use your thumb to press down on the gray button. On UppaBaby, there are 2 gray buttons, which is not difficult, but it does require like a 2-button pinch with 2 fingers moving versus keeping a finger stationary and pressing down. So again, just me with like old lady arthritis. I like the NUNA one just because it is a single strike. Another thing that NUNA has that the UppaBaby doesn't, so they both have a liner. Both liners go under the butt, so that's a plus. If we remove the UppaBaby liner, the back of the seat is just going to be firm and typical. If we remove the liner of the NUNA seat, I'm not sure if you guys can see this in the video, but on the backrest there is mesh. You can probably see my hand moving behind here. So the mesh ventilated is what you would get with NUNA that you don't get with CRUZ, but you would get it with the Vista. So we just want to make sure that we really make a point to talk about that differentiation, because I think some people think V3 will have the same across CRUZ and Vista, but it is a little bit different. The CRUZ does not have a mesh ventilated back, although it does have the awesome magnetic buckle. So just something to be aware of there. Handle height. So for UppaBaby, we're going to go between 40 and 43 inches of handle height. There's like 3 stopping points. NUNA MIXX NEXT has one of the tallest handle heights in the business. So it starts at 41.5, so it starts higher. Its starting handle height, as you can see, is higher than the UppaBaby. And then it'll go all the way up to 45 inches high. So this is, I mean, that's too tall for me, but for somebody who's taller, I'm 5'5", just for like clarification. Yeah, so higher handle height on MIXX NEXT than you get on the CRUZ, but they're both great for tall parents. Now, the weight of the products. The CRUZ is going to be slightly less weight. The CRUZ is 25.5 pounds, where our MIXX NEXT is going to be 28.5 pounds. So the MIXX NEXT is about 3 pounds heavier. Additionally, basket capacity for weight. This is a huge difference. The basket capacity for weight on the CRUZ V3 is going to be 25 pounds. The basket capacity for the MIXX NEXT is 10 pounds. I really wish NUNA would address this. A 10-pound basket does not hold very much, so UppaBaby definitely does a better job giving you a greater basket capacity. Additionally, the basket on the UppaBaby is just physically larger. So if we talk about basket dimension, it's 14 wide by 25.5 deep. Our NUNA basket down here is 13 by 15. Now again, with NUNA, you can pop the divider up in the basket, which is very cool. And with UppaBaby, some people do complain about the suspension bar running through the basket. However, I would argue the capacity is so great, it holds so much that we rarely get complaints on that. It's more when people are looking at it, they think it looks kind of funky, which I can understand. Now the basket opening. On the UppaBaby, you have 14 inches in the back to get at your stuff. And NUNA has 12 inches at the back. And then on the front, NUNA will have 8 inches to access things in the basket, whereas on UppaBaby, when we tuck the footrest underneath, and again, it is a single hand tuck back, which is pretty cool. That opening is going to be 11 inches. And it will tuck back. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but floor model. And this is also a prototype. It's not even the new ones. The new ones are coming in August. So we're still early July, which is why, again, it's a promo, it's not a true model coming from the factory. There will be some changes on the new ones that come, but for what we're doing right now, it's completely perfect to show to you guys. Okay, so they both can work for newborn. They both have a sandal-friendly brake, meaning that if you are wearing sandals, you're not going to wreck your toes. If you want to go ahead and engage the brake on either of them, so that's great. They both have an option to lock their front tires, so you can go from swiveling to locked very easily on either model. On the UppaBaby, it's pressing a button. That will make your wheel go locked, and on NUNA, it's pulling a little lock, and then that will lock your tire into fixed. So both are very, very simple. Appreciate that on both. Let's talk about the folds, okay? So Where I would argue NUNA does a better job is that they have a fold that is more attractive on paper. So this product folds up very neatly. The dirty wheels are all on the ground and the handle never touches the ground. Additionally, we can lock it and stand it up, and that's our upright standard fold on the MIXX NEXT. So for the CRUZ version 3, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna recline the seat just a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and engage the triggers like I did on V2. We can have our foot plate come down with a single hand, and then I'm also able to adjust the front bar to come up to be a smaller fold. So while it's not as small as the MIXX NEXT, it is definitely smaller than the version 2. So version 3 definitely has a nice, more compact fold, but MIXX NEXT is still a smaller fold. Now it's heavier to carry. There's also, just so that people can see, a secret handle on the CRUZ right there. Because there's a lot of times when customers are like, there's nowhere to grab it, and they get really pissy about it. There's absolutely a hidden handle on the CRUZ, okay? So stop yelling at me. I didn't invent it, but I'm just showing you, yes, there is a handle. It's across, it's that stupid bar that you hated in the basket. That's the handle I'm grabbing right now. So there we go. Now, opening, they're both simple enough to open. I guess my preference here with the CRUZ is that it's a little less bending. So I like that. Very easy to get it to open up. And then on MIXX NEXT, still very easy. So both are simple enough to fold. Neither one is a one-handed fold. Now, another difference would be with the NUNA, when the seat is in a backward facing position or caregiver facing, you can fold it with the seat still on the frame. I don't know who would fold it up this way or carry it around this way, but if you wanted to, MIXX NEXT has the option for the seat to face caregiver and fold, whereas with CRUZ, the seat does have to be forward facing to fold the stroller. So I can't turn the seat parent facing on the CRUZ and have it fold up. So that's a big difference between the two. So MIXX NEXT might have a little advantage there. Now, one thing that is also interesting is that when you remove the seat from the MIXX NEXT and you want to put a NUNA car seat on it, you are given an adapter when you buy the stroller that will work with their brand car seat. Now, the reason why I point this out is, like, my big sister hates that. She feels like it's an additional piece to lose. So something that UppaBaby does get a lot of accolades or praise is that when you do their brand car seat on the stroller, you don't need extra pieces in order to do that. It'll just lock directly on. The UppaBaby car seat is also lighter than the NUNA car seat. As you can see, the UppaBaby car seat sits lower on the frame than the NUNA car seat. It generally makes the stroller feel slightly sturdier when you're pushing it, but just to show you, if you were curious, you could always buy a set of risers for $35 from UppaBaby if you're like, I just want my baby sitting up higher in the car seat. Now, they're raised up. So for 35 bucks, you can get a higher raise. That won't work for the actual stroller seat, but it will work for the bassinet or the car seat. So just something we like to show. They both have a single hand squeeze release, but you can, of course, flip the seat to be facing either direction on the UppaBaby more easily than you can on NUNA. NUNA, I would have to switch the adapter around. Again, not the end of the world. These aren't difficult things, but just differences, right? What's the difference? What am I getting? So that's what we're trying to demonstrate here. So both great options that'll work with lightweight car seats, where you can face the seat either direction. Now remember, UppaBaby, you can buy non-UppaBaby brand car seats to fit directly onto the frame. You will buy an adapter that'll work with that brand car seat, so then it's more like the MIXX NEXT where you're putting additional pieces on it, okay? So since we were talking about how these are both newborn ready, let's show that off. So one thing I will point out is that the UppaBaby seat is physically longer and larger for a longer bodied kid because it has that longer foot plate. This will be most noticeable when we're showing it off in newborn mode. Why does this matter? Well, If you've got a big kid hanging out in either one of these seats and their legs are heavy, with NUNA, one of the things I hate is that the leg support is not super strong and it doesn't have a heel stirrup. With UppaBaby, this piece is longer, harder, more supportive, and there is a heel stirrup. So my argument is that for like longevity over time, I think the UppaBaby seat would probably be more comfortable for a bigger bodied kid. I don't know for sure. Again, it's a brand new product, but I can tell just by looking at it, it is a longer, bigger seat for a bigger bodied kiddo, which I think would have a value to consumers beyond newborn, okay? So nice thing about a lie flat recline with either one of these is that yes, for newborn, but you could also do a diaper change on the go. So that's very exciting. NUNA has a very simple changeover to do that little pramette apron mode. UppaBaby's is new, so I'm not as fast at it, but it is relatively simple. You pop the pieces up and around like you see me doing here. There's a little guy that'll come up over each side of the handle with snaps. And then there are some snaps that hook up to the side of the seat frame. So I'm gonna try and do that right now for you guys to show you. And again, this is one of those things where practice makes perfect. I did try to practice before doing this video, but I have so much more experience with Mixx NEXT. Of course, that's gonna look faster and easier. But this just shows you, they both have this option to do this little apron type scenario. That's our timer letting me know I'm getting close on my time. And then the other thing that's cool about UppaBaby is that they include an additional sunshade that connects to the handle. And again, the new one's gonna be a little bit sleeker, a little more U-shaped. This is just a promotional model for the video, but that's our overall sun-shaded look on our CRUZ version 3. On our UppaBaby, it is shorter, but again, it's for a newborn. So probably not the biggest deal in the world that this is longer, but when we're talking about an older kid lying down in the seat, the CRUZ version 2 is going to be more supportive for sure. Now, how do they push? Consistently, customers seem to prefer the push of the UppaBaby over the Mixx NEXT, especially with tariff price increases. We've been seeing more sales go back to UppaBaby than we've been seeing with NUNA MIXX NEXT. So I don't know if this is just a trend for 2025, it's just something going on right now, but I have to say, just in baby world here at my store Destination Baby, we're doing super duper well with the new UppaBaby lineup. So something to be aware of. Wanted to make sure that we covered all the relevant info for you guys. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and check out any of my other individual videos going over any of these products. We've got them all, and check them out on my website, destinationbabykids.com. You can buy whatever you want there, all kinds of cool stuff. So head on out and check it out. Thanks for watching.